Welcome back, everyone, to the channel. So today I'm going to be working on something for a friend of mine. He has this image from, I guess, his family. It's like a peace pipe and an axe. Okay, so I decided to start with the peace pipe first. Now, I don't actually know much of the history about peace pipes and the significance of them and Tomahawk. I probably should, but I know my buddy's mentioned that they're kind of been a thing for a while, or at least for like maybe in his family history. There's some Native American blood in there. So anyway, this is, like I said, it's based off of a drawing that I think his dad did or his uncle did, and he sent it off. Well, he sent a photo of it to me and said, "Hey, can you redraw this?" So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just starting with the peace pipe. I asked him some of the details of it, what kind of pipe it is, what kind of head does it have on it. He said his dad said it should have an eagle's head. And then I looked up Native American peace pipes, and the closest thing I could find that looked like the drawing that he sent me was a ceremonial pipe. So this is kind of my take on it. I was trying to make it look more like what I saw. So just drawing in like an eagle head, some leather wrapping and some string or some leather strips coming off of it from, I guess, the wrapping. And then I wanted to do a different color contrast for it. Even though it's black and white, you can still kind of emphasize difference in color by varying the degrees of shading on it. So I wanted the main body of it to be a darker wood, quote unquote, color. In this case, it'd just be a much darker, maybe like a mahogany or something, just something dark. And the rest of it was going to be a little bit lighter. Like the leather would be maybe like a beige color, and then the actual like pipe piece, maybe it's just a gray or another darker material. And so usually when I start off doing my drawings, and like I said in some of my past videos, I used to do comic art all the time and do a lot more drawing, and painting's more of a recent thing. It's only happened in the last year and a half or so. So what I used to do all the time is I'd draw, and there's a lot of comic art, and I might just start doing some more of that on the channel, just because it's refreshing to me, and then gets back to kind of like my roots, and then just something new to see, and it's not just painting all the time. And like I said, some of my other videos as well, it's an art channel, not just a painting channel. So I'd rather it be that I can actually put all of my artsy talents, I guess, it's probably the wrong word, but all my little artsy parts, that didn't sound right, the things that I do when I create things, especially art related, on the channel. I probably won't do like the furniture I build, but whatever, that's something different. Anyway, yeah, so it was kind of refreshing getting back to drawing a bit. It's one of the good things about it as well, is that the majority of the footage I don't have to cut out, because it was just legitimately just getting down into it and just drawing. There wasn't a lot of like, I'd have to like stop and mix colors. I didn't have to make sure the lighting's right, make sure the camera's in the right place. It's just sit down with a piece of paper and a clipboard and a pencil and go for it. So anyway, yeah, if you're I guess this would be a tip for some people that maybe don't know how to draw very well, since I've been doing it since I don't know how old. Yeah, start off with the basic shapes, start off with the basic idea behind what you want to do, and then just flesh it out from there. That kind of sounds really simple, but that really is all what it is. Like if you're trying to draw this, you saw in the beginning, all I did was do a basic shape, draw some basic shapes out, figure out how I really wanted to do it, and then started just changing things, adding details, and giving a little bit more, well then, like using the ruler here, just making sure those lines are straight. and it makes it look a little bit better and a little bit easier to get a finished product where it's not just, you're not just completely freehanding it, you know. But anyway, yeah, you start off with the basic idea, just do shapes and the concept, the concept behind whatever you're doing, and then you add the details in later. And in this case, I'm doing a lot of hash work. This is what I always called it. It's these little lines you do indicate shadow or color. And because this is black and white, the only thing I have to do is put those in. I will smudge out the hash marks or hash work later with a finger, so it adds a little bit more of a gradient effect. But if you're really just trying to draw something that has some sort of depth to it, not just flat on a page or on a piece of paper, this is a really, really easy way of doing it. If you look at like a dollar bill or any money, you'll see like the presidents that are, or whatever president's on there, it's literally done with like hash marks. They just follow contoured lines, and certain parts of those hash marks have been erased in order to make it look like there's lighter areas. And some of the certain areas are you have like cross hatch, you know, where it's like lines are going one way and then lines going the other way, which makes it darker. It doesn't completely cover over the image, but it makes that area look darker. And it's one of the more entertaining parts for me of drawing, especially when I don't really do it as much as I used to, and I really should. I mean, a lot of my drawings I end up doing, you guys don't even see, or maybe you see it as a concept piece when I'm getting ready to do a painting. But in this case, this is literally what I was doing in the video. So it starts off with this peace pipe, and it ends with a tomahawk, which you'll see after the peace pipe's done. Now that's it. The other, I guess, the kind of the crappy part about drawing something in and having something else drawn on top of it is that you have to worry about details. But I wasn't that worried. I mean, I could just redraw whatever I was doing. Yeah. I guess there was supposed to be some audio at that part, but whatever. Yeah, so here what I'm doing is just smudging out with a finger. I had a little bit of paint on my index finger from this other project I was working on, so another painting. So it started actually putting a little bit of color onto the paint or under the pipe, and I didn't really want that, so I switched to my middle finger there. But if you do this effect, make sure you go back through with an eraser. I mean, you don't have to go back through with an eraser, but I like to do it to really emphasize lighter areas. So this gives a nice 3D effect, like there's some sort of texture there. Alright, so here's what I mean by cross-hatching, where I'm just putting in these lines in the opposite direction of the normal lines. It adds a little bit more. I mean, here it kind of just looks like I'm scratching in pencil, which honestly that's pretty much what I'm doing. But if you were trying to make it look a little bit less, or a little bit better, I would probably have actually just done individual lines running up the length of the pipe. In this case, I didn't really want it to look like there was too much cross-hatching. I wanted to make it look like there was more just like an actual gradient color, like you'd have more in reality. So there is cross-hatching in it. It's not as emphasized as has been in some of my other drawings. And this is more like just color, and you just smudge it out and then do your highlights. Oh, and yes, while you're here listening, watch out for the future. I have a Star Wars related painting coming up. I don't have any Star Wars related things in my house, even though I'm a giant nerd and I grew up with Star Wars. The wife and kids the wife's not really that into it, just because she's not the nerd that I am, but slowly, she will see the power of the dark side. Yes. Anyway, so look forward to that. It's based off of the original trilogy, not the prequels and not these newer quote unquote Star Wars movies. I have my own biases. You know, I'm not gonna try to get into that particular debate on this video, since I try not to do that on this channel. But it's from the original. This new painting's from the original series, back in the 70s and 80s. So hopefully you all will like that. Seeing as how I haven't done anything like that on the channel, I might start doing more fantasy-based paint. Well, I mean, I guess some of my paintings have always been fantasy-based. Like there's some other ones that I've done that are, I mean, obviously none of them exist, so I'm like painting something I've actually seen, and then, you know, whatever. But yeah, I might start doing that more often. Do more like fictional world paintings, just because why not? And maybe I want to do like a castle on a hill that's in some medieval environment with dragons flying around the sky. That would be cool to do. So I guess I'll have to learn how to paint dragons. But yeah, look forward to that. I'll have a little Star Wars one coming out soon. I'm not sure when. We've got a lot of things going on right now. People are back to work. The whole state's opening up after this first wave of the coronavirus. It's kind of passed by. Of course, now they're saying that second wave might be coming, but who knows? I guess we'll see. Anyway, back to the drawing. So yeah, this is the Tomahawk I'm working on. I actually have a Tomahawk that looks just like this, minus some of the leather wrappings you'll see later. It's based off of the one that my buddy sent me, or at least the drawing that he sent me. This drawing is based off of that, with some references from, you know, Google. A lot of the one thing I do know more about Tomahawks is that they're smaller. They're awesome little weapons, but they could be doubled as a piece or as a pipe, depending on what kind of one you have or whatever. I'm not really sure how that works. Even though it's funny, one of my other hobbies is metalworking. Like I make knives on the side. I don't know if I'll ever have those on the channel. Maybe. It's just, I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah, I actually have this Tomahawk. I don't know if I'll show it. Probably not yet. I got to replace the handle on it because the handle was busted. But it looks pretty much just like this one. So if you want to watch a movie like, oh yeah, that's the other thing I want to mention. It is Memorial Day, or Memorial Day is going to be, it's the last Monday of May. And if you want to watch a really good movie about U.S. soldiers fighting and dying and winning and, you know, beating the enemy and winning America our freedom, you watch The Patriot, which also coincidentally features a Tomahawk in that movie. It's Mel Gibson's character. He runs around with a tomahawk and muskets, and it's a good movie, especially for like Memorial Day. Even though 4th of July it's more like a 4th of July movie. But anyway, just for those of you out there who care, just remember it's Memorial Day. You know, remember those that fought and died to give us our freedom and give us our country, from all different walks of life. You know, just that's what the Memorial Day is about, is remembering those who fought and died to protect us. And those of us who are serving, thank you all. You are appreciated. Anyway, so back on point. The Tomahawk is really simple. It's a very similar setup as the pipe. You're just doing all the double leather wraps, one up by the head, one by where your hand would be. These little leather strip pieces coming off of it, all the shadowing. And then this one's actually gonna have a feather coming off, like kind of almost in contrast to the axe head there. I thought it was an interesting effect. It was something that my buddy sent over. It was a little detail in there. There's different kinds of feathers you can use. I think what I used is an owl feather or a hawk feather. I'm not sure which. I probably should have used an eagle feather for it, since the peace pipe is an eagle themed thing. But in the end, owls are bigger. I think they're a bigger thing in Native American culture. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments. If you are Native American, hey, teach me some history. I think you can look things up on Wikipedia and Google, all day long, but I'd rather learn it from the people that actually live it. Like my wife and my in-laws they're all Japanese, so they can tell me more inside things about Japanese and Okinawan culture than I can learning it on Google or the internet. Just to give you a little, I guess, it's a little bit of a family history. But yeah. So if I'm wrong, correct me. I'm more than welcome to take critiques and fact checking. Because then if I get fact checked, then cool. I'll put a statement out saying, hey, I was wrong about this. I apologize. I also just learned, so I'm always an open book for learning. So thank you. And I gotta say, it's been nice getting back to some of my more basic arts. Is like drawing, just straight up drawing. That's all you're doing. I'd say for someone who's trying to get into artwork, like drawing is a really good medium to start with, because all you gotta do is take a piece of paper and a pencil and go at it. Like you have an eraser to mess up, erase all your stuff. If you need, with the advent of the internet, you can look up how to do certain things, how to draw certain things. So learning is never been easier. So go on there, look up perspectives, look up, how to do proportions and shape drawing and all this stuff, and then just figure out how to add details later. Or you can do a really easy way of getting better at drawing is to do portraits or draw things that you see. Like a bowl of fruit. Like that's legitimately not a bad thing to study drawing with, because it gives you these unique shapes, it gives you these different color gradients, all these different aspects to look at that really helps your brain figure out how light should fall on an object, how shadows work, how something looks in 3D space. So I'd say that's a really good study tool. Other than that, like if you're trying to do like comic art, study people's faces. Figure out the proportions of that. Faces are one of the hardest things for people to get right. But I will say this: the art of reduction and erasing things and just making the human eye look at something and make up the rest works better than trying to draw every tiny detail, unless you're trying to draw like a perfect portrait of somebody, which is not bad. You can find people that do that. For me, I'd rather do comic art, and I don't have to put as much stuff into it, but you can tell what it is, Anyway, yeah, if you're trying to get into drawing, just get at it. It takes a bit of time and effort, but then again, so does everything else. I mean, I took about a year to... I committed myself to it. This is years back. I said, I'm going to draw one drawing per day for a year. A lot of it was comic art, but it ended up making it so that way I actually got a lot better. I mean, if you spend your time, working on something and getting practicing it, practice makes perfect. That is a true statement. And in this case, the more time you spend doing something, the better you're going to get at it. Like this whole last year and some change of me painting, like before it'd take me like 3 weeks or 4 weeks just to do a small 8x11 panel. Now I'm doing, you know, 20 by 16s in the span of a week, maybe less, you know. So it really just depends on you, how much effort you want to put into it. Yeah, I'm not at all sure what happened here when I was doing my signature. I somehow forgot the R in my name, so I had to go back and redo that. So I am dumb sometimes. All right, that about does it. Yeah, thank you all for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, share. All that helps me out. In this case, helps my buddy. Be happy because this is for him. Actually, it's for his dad. I sent a photo of this off to him. They all liked it. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end it here. Again, thank you all for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.